Hello, welcome back to another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. For those of you who had issues with the sound, I hope this is a bit better. Today is a new game of Ogre Kingdoms versus Warriors of Chaos. Here are the two armies set up here. We played a simple battle line on a 6x4 field. And to make it fun, this is the first day of the new army book, but it's too soon for us to be playing with it. So this is still old rules. And just a cool Mornfang and just the trouble that's coming at the Mornfang here. Warriors of Chaos unit with a BSB who's just looking like a nasty Nurgle guy and a Sorcerer. Trouble with this is everybody was pretty much Nurgle here in my opponent's field, and man did that make it tough. Bad weapon skill, trying to hit on 5s, not fun. And this little war shrine definitely came in to help. Note the guy's head in his hands. It's just cool. I'll make another report here shortly that will just be of pictures of the different models, mostly showcasing my opponent's models here. Anyhow, this is an overview of the whole battlefield. My opponent has fewer units, places over here, and gets the first turn. And you've already seen he's vanguarded up here. In his far right flank, he has a Hell Cannon. His Hell Striders have moved up. He's got a unit of Chosen with his BSB, which is that Nurgle hero, and a level 4 Sorcerer of Shadow, I believe. And his War Shrine, a bunch of Marauders with a level 2 or level 1 of Fire, and 10 Knights. And you'd think that I would be keen on the Knights, cued into them and how tough they are, but we'll see how smart I am about that later. Here's a close-up of his Hell Cannon, looking pretty mean. The piles of skulls, put it on the thing. The dwarves model, he modeled the dwarves so they could pop out and stuff. So what I do here is, what I've done here is I've set up, I start here with a couple of Saber Tusks, one's just right here out of the screen, but I get my left flank my Iron Blaster, my Yetis, and then in the middle here I have 10 Narblar Trappers. I have my second Saber Tusk, and I've set them up, putting them out there, getting him to do his placements so that I can choose where I want to be. And sure enough, he split up his warriors, his general with them, and his marauders, and his knights are on the other side. So what I end up doing here, I get away from the warriors. I have 4 lead belchers with a fire belly. I have 9 iron guts with my slaughtermaster general. I have 6 bulls with my BSB, who of course doesn't have a standard yet. We're working on that. And 4 Mornfang cavalry with heavy armor, Iron Fist, and banner of Dragonhide. And so here's an overview of the whole board, and you can see how I was able to get him to deploy in his right flank, my left, with a few small drops. I've now placed everything else over here, and what I should be able to do, and my plan is to use the Saber Tusks and the Noblars to distract him, to keep him over on that flank with the warriors. I should be able to run him back with the Yetis, they're looking pretty mean, and shoot him up with the cannon, while on the side I come charging down the flank and take out his army. I've had great luck in the past against Knights. Usually he runs 5, so we'll see how it goes against 10. Are they really twice as good, or do they crumble? Are they still just crumbleable? Here's a close-up of my Mornfang. I think they're looking pretty mean. Sounding the trumpet, ready to go to war. So, of course, he wins turn 1. Like I said, he moves forward slightly with his warriors here. It just comes up, and he shifts the Hellstriders just a little bit, but he can't charge because it's first turn, and he moves them so he'll be able to charge in my Iron Blaster or my Yetis. I'm thinking big deal. They're looking pretty cool. Got whips and stuff hanging all out over the place and looking pretty mean, but hey, I'm not too worried. I got a bunch of Yetis, -1 to hit. Pretty much the same as having a Nurgle mark. And a pretty mean 3 attacks each. I should be good to go. He moves the War Shrine up just to stay close to his guys, and then moves Marauders up a bit so they're out in front of his Knights, and posts the Knights on top of the hill, holding back so that he'll hopefully get a first charge on me. In Magic, he casts enfeeblement on the Yetis to keep me from charging him first round, and here he throws down a miasma. And you probably won't hear a whole lot about the lead belchers because I really think maybe they killed 2 models the whole game. Didn't do squat. They just kind of run around. At least as far as shooting, they don't do anything. So Ogre's turn 1. I bring the cannon over here so I can shoot down his line at the War Shrine. He makes his 4-up ward save. Actually hit him, and he makes his 4-up ward save. Next note to self, don't shoot at that until it's the last thing around. I put the Yetis on the hill and just keep them there. I move up 1 Saber Tusk a little bit so that he can't get me with his warriors. But I'll be able to get in front of him, and then the second Saber Tusk is over here. He's either going to have to waste a charge to come get me, or I can run out in front of his warriors or his knights, depending, and just redirect over there. And that's what I'm looking to do. I turn the Noblars a little bit. You don't want to be a Saber Tusk when playing against Warriors of Chaos, but hey, that's the task set for him. So he's out there running in front. The forest I don't want to sit in. It can do damage to you. It's a wild forest or whatever. And so I hang out behind it. And I make a nice little concave over here. 2 flat lines, more or less just holding back, making him make some moves to me. I can shoot him with magic. I can take him out and get points on the other side. So I'm thinking really great. Don't do a whole lot. I get a Troll Guts off here on these guys, trying to get out some spells, but nothing big happens. And this is just a picture of the Yetis looking down, literally, on the Hellstriders. So coming up on Warrior's turn 2, he, kind of surprisingly, I think my Yetis look pretty imposing up there. He declares a charge with the Hellstriders, and moves everyone up like this. No charge on Saber Tusks, moves mainly just the Marauders a little bit, the Hell Shrine and the Warriors, because I think he's realizing the Warriors are way off to the side and he needs to get them over to me as fast as he can. Which is exactly what I want and fine by me, because that unit is just brutal, especially with those 2 characters in there. The Hellstriders easily make it, go charging up on the hill. No big deal for me. Look at that. They have no chance against my Yetis. The Yetis are looking pretty cool. He gets a buff off from the War Shrine. He didn't get anything first round. And you can see this guy in the front here just looking pretty happy. I forget what they got. It's either an extra attack or something. No big deal, but it makes him a little more killy. Tries to shoot me with the Hell Cannon. And everyone has to take a roll on the miscast table. So I got... And he's got the puppet, so he shifts his for the better. Doesn't really hurt himself too bad. Shifts mine for the worst. I end up killing a bunch of Iron Guts and 1 Lead Belcher. Do a bunch of wounds to my casters. Luckily, I don't get sucked into the warp. That would have really, really sucked. After combat, pretty typically I've killed 4 of them. He did 5 wounds to me. A little surprise there, but hey, I stick around. No big deal. And so on my turn... 2, I put the Saber Tusk here out in front of the Warriors, so he has to charge me, can't do anything about it, and shift the Fire Belly out of the unit of Lead Belchers. That way I have a few different options. I have another blocking option against the Warriors, so it's just a whole bunch of little roadblocks here. Kind of in the background, it's hard to see in this picture, but in the next one you'll notice that I've put up this Saber Tusk here right in front of his warrior, so he can't move around me. If he charges with either of his units, he'll be in the front. He'll be just brought out of the side. My units are just getting buffed. I think I get off a not a Troll Guts, but +1 strength and +1 toughness, so these guys are just a little bit more imposing. It'll just keep him from risking a long charge with his knights next round. And shooting, this time I kill the Hell Cannon, direct hit, 5 wounds to the cannon, it goes boom, and what do you know? 2 Yetis cannot beat a single Hellstrider. I lose combat, he runs me down. So all of a sudden, instead of having this side like nicely buttoned up, he's got a single Hellstrider. Luckily it's only 1 running behind. He charged me his turn. This is now his turn 3. He charged me this Saber Tusk with these mean guys. You can just tell they're looking angry, and it's not going to go well for the Saber Tusk. And he charges the other one with his Marauders. So I'll lose the Saber Tusks. No big deal. but that's what they're there for. I've redirected him, and you know that now the Chosen are. That's just one more turn the Chosen can't get over into me. And this is what it looks like from right behind my lines. I've got his flank, but he's just gonna beat the Saber Tusk, reform, face me, but I should be able to double charge into his warriors and still be able to hold back a little bit for the knights and pick that battle. I should be able to beat the warriors pretty good, no power problem. Unfortunately, he gets another buff off with Eye of the Gods on the Marauders. That makes him a little bit tougher, but that's will come in a second. So he can't charge this round, so he brings the Hellstrider over so he can charge the Noblars next round. Here's he gets a buff off on these guys. I forget which one. And it might be miasma. No, not miasma, but oh geez, where your leadership becomes your strength. And he whiffs all his attacks and then fails his rerollable leadership and has to pursue me. He only does 1 wound, so he pursues me over here and he's showing his flank to me. This is what it looks like at the end of his turn. He's got his War Shrine, which has buffed the Marauders a few times, so they're pretty well protected against me, but now it's his flank and I can double triple charge whatever I want. I've got Saber Tusk sitting out here fleeing, but no big deal. Still alive. My Noblars, nobody's gonna be hit by him, and I'm just gonna be able to move out of the way. And so my turn, you can see these guys are just getting ready for a juicy charge. They are excited. They're gonna take this out, and I should with the Iron Guts. He rolls a 3 to get away, so I don't combo charge. I don't want him to keep fleeing, and because I'm thinking I should catch him. It's not too far. I think I only need a roll of a 4 or a 5 to catch him, and I don't. You'll notice that I'm stuck in the woods. I don't make it. In retrospect, I probably should have charged and pushed him as far away as possible, so when he rallies, in case I didn't catch him, as what happened here. When he rallies, he's way out of combat and can't do anything, and then I can focus a ton of attacks and stuff onto the knights. So indeed, on his turn, he rallies. No, sorry, he's still fleeing. You can see what I'm looking at here with my Iron Blaster. It's going to just fire down the flank, shoot at the knights. I just set these guys up as best I can to receive charges from the knights, although they're still pretty far away. Or be ready to charge the knights and have whatever options I need in the next round. You know, perspective is always hard, but you can see how close they are. Now they're stuck in this dumb wood, and I end up losing a couple units to him, and there they are in focus, just right out of my reach. I must have tripped on a tree or something. Anyways, the Noblars stand up for their cause. They turn around, they shoot, and kill the Hellstrider, which is great. The little Saber Tusk flees a little bit more and ends up right behind the Noblars, which is going to work out just fine next round. It's exactly what I would have wanted. The Iron Blaster shoots and kills 2 knights. I did really well with the Iron Blaster as far as rolls and aiming and stuff, and I just rolled a bunch of 1s for wounding. So, you know, that's how it goes. And he had the blasted standard, so survived. That's half the reason why I couldn't do anything with my guys. He charges in here. It's just going to end poorly for the Noblars. But they're trappers, and they're yelling and taunting, and so the warriors can't help themselves. They charge in, easily make it. That 1 wound is on the BSB from the miscast he did himself, and then the Danger Train checks come in, and he kills 4 of his own unit. So that's great. I'm happy with that. He gets off an enfeeblement onto this unit of Iron Guts, which I have to let through. He had an 11 or 12 dice magic phase, and I had to save some dice. I blew my Dispel Scroll early, which was just silly. The warriors easily defeat the Noblars. I don't even get to attack back. It was a joke. Runs into the cat and then has to stop and reform. So I've saved myself yet another round. He's rallied the warriors. So my turn 4. I charge everything I can. I'm thinking I've done well against the knights. I've killed 2, so I put the Mournfang alone into the knights. And he's got a bunch of marauders, but I go into attack. And good thing I do, because with this Mark of Nurgle, again, weapon skill 3 versus weapon skill anything, pretty much. And Mark Nurgle means that I get -1. That means I'm hitting on 5s, which is just brutal. Finally, the Gorger comes in. Yay, Gorger. And he goes lumbering up to just see what he can, kind of mayhem he can wreak. And this is what it looks like after the charges. Everybody makes it. Unfortunately, no devastating charges. That would have been really, really huge. But I'm thinking with the Dragonhide banner, I'll get to reroll a ton. And luckily, I brought both of these units in because he killed several of mine. I killed a whole bunch of Marauders, but not that many. I mean, if he hadn't had the Mark of Nurgle and I'm hitting on 5s, I probably would have decimated the unit down to a single rank or something. But as it is, he's still steadfast, rerollable, and he sticks around. You can see he's killed a couple of my guys that are hanging out. Plus, I had miasma on him, and that hurt them. In combat, I kill 1. He does 2 wounds to me. I think we tie combat. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, oh, geez, well, I don't have my banner bonus anymore, and he's going to attack first. And holy cow, this is tough. This is kind of what it looks like down here. So on his turn, you'll notice in the back he's got a nice little card. He got up Mind Razor on his knights, so all of a sudden he's hitting me on strength 8 or 9. He buffs his Marauders with the Eye of the Gods and rolls a 12, so all of a sudden they have 4 upward save and are stubborn. So after combat, I have no Mourn Fang. He killed everyone except for the Standard Bearer. Did not pursue. My Standard Bearer still dies, but he didn't pursue because he wanted to stay here so he could countercharge next turn. It's brutal. I kill a bunch more Marauders, but he sticks around because he's stubborn. You can tell his luck is good. He throws the dice down, and if you'll notice the one on the left here, it's standing on edge. Must have been a little divot or something in the mat, but it's standing on edge. Go figure. Anyways, things are starting to get pretty tense. My turn. I get him down to 3 guys, but he's still stubborn. You know, I can't get through the 4+ ward save, and I'm being whittled pretty far down, and he's stubborn, so he sticks around. The Gorger runs up as far as he can so he can get in the flank and be some kind of threat here. But, you know, it's not a whole lot I can do just yet. I didn't want to charge him in alone to the Knights, and so I passed my Frenzy check and didn't charge. I just moved him up. But, man, this is tough. My Iron Blaster here is sitting on the hill just shooting down the line at the Knights, hoping to get a few more, and I get him down to 4 Knights, which is pretty great, so I'm really excited about that. I'm thinking, alright, this isn't too bad. He comes in my flank. Although the card's not there, I think maybe he doesn't have Mind Razor off this round. No, he got it off again. I think he Irresistible Forced it each round at the end, and with the puppet he was able to just make sure nothing really bad happened to his casters. I mean, the Firecaster went away pretty early because of the miscast. He went down to level 0, but other than that, the level 4 was just wreaking havoc. So he's in the flank of that big combat. He brings his warriors. He charges my Lead Belchers. They just flee, so they get away, no problem. And he's just moving his warriors up, just trying to get over there, but he's not going to be able to. So my ploy worked out great in combat. I think we fight to a draw. I get lucky. I get in a challenge with my character, and that defeats a bunch of the attacks, and stick around through Steadfast. I roll and I face him, and I beat the Marauder, so I'm ready to charge. I'm ready to go on anyways with my unit of bulls. Iron Guts. Here's my unit of bulls. I feel like the one in the back is holding up his hand to the Knights and saying, "Stop, none shall pass." But hey, they've got Mind Razor, and they can pretty much do what they want. So my turn 6, I charge the War Shrine, and he runs away thinking I'd get a flank. I've got my caster in here. I can buff them up. He's got the Fencer's Blades, and it's pretty tough. And just with the impact hits, he just doesn't want to mess around with it. And so he flees, and I catch him, which was he actually fled pretty far, but I rolled really high. I rolled like a 10, and I actually caught him, which was fantastic. So that was some points right at the end of the game. And then the Gorger charges into the flank of the Knights. And I'm in a challenge here. My BSB, with one of the knights. And so I can't actually fight with the Gorger, but at least I get a charge and a flank. And so I'm thinking that over here, you can see the basic setup of the board. I've got my Fire Belly and my Iron Blaster are ready to shoot. The Lead Belchers keep fleeing, but they don't flee off the board, so I don't lose any points there. I've got a whole bunch of my units here, and I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to shoot my Lead Belcher, my Iron Blaster, at the unit of warriors, try to take out one of his guys. So he sights right down here. You can see the blue. He aims for the blue, which is a sorcerer. If I can hit the sorcerer and the BSB, I might kill one or both of them, which would be just really fantastic. Some, lucky rolling on my part and bad rolling on his, but that would be great. I like to think they look scared in this picture, but that's really not the case. They're warriors and really don't care. I keep trying to, throw everything I've got with dice at the Fire Belly with a souped up fireball, and I just keep rolling 15s and 16s instead of the 18 needed, so I just can't get it off. So the Warriors pretty much survive. I hit the unit, but he makes his Lookout Sir save, and I don't kill his BSB. He wins this combat, having directed all his attacks, so I have to flee. I'm actually facing the other direction, and I lose both standards, but he can't pursue me, so he doesn't get to standards. And I'm in his flank with the Gorger, unbreakable, and that's how the game ends. This is what it looks like overall, and it's great. I mean, it was brutal. Fun game, up and down. At first, I thought I had it. Then, with that crazy miscast, I thought it was over. Then I thought with all those combo charges, I thought it was all taken. It was done. It was my game. And when he kept getting buffed with the Eye of the Gods and Mind Razor. Mind Razor's just radical. It's sick. But anyways, we tally up the points, and I won by 30 points or something. So it was a draw, and one of the better just